Once upon a time, I moved away from the United Kingdom and I moved to Sydney, Australia. And it was at that point that I realized how far I was behind in life. And it was at that exact moment that I decided that I was gonna intentionally design my life and I was gonna walk away from the average man's life and create a life of freedom and design that I wanted. Now I know what you're gonna say. If you can't see it, then you probably can't realize it, and that is exactly true. If you can't see what is possible in this world, then you're never gonna achieve it. But in this day and age, there's no reason at all for you not to be able to go find it. Now, the way I found this life was I decided that I was going to take the risk and I was going to move away from my home life. I was speaking to my friend about this the other day. So moving from the United Kingdom, you've got your friend group, you've got your job, you've got your car on finance, you've got your status in the place that you live, and it's easy to progress up the ladder. But when you move away to the other side of the world, you're going to find that nobody knows you, so you've got no status. Your qualifications or your hierarchy in your job are not going to get you anywhere when you move to the other side of the world. So you've got to work your way back up the ladder. You likely won't be able to get finance because you're not a permanent resident. So to move forward in life, sometimes we have to take a step backwards. Now, ways that you can experience the life that you want so you can actually realize it is, number one, you can look on the internet and you can see the life people are living. You can go on holiday to nice destinations and you can see the lifestyle that people have got. And you can also visualize in your mind the life that you want to have. You can visualize it in detail. Now this will take some work because obviously for you to visualize something that you don't have is going to be pretty hard. But if you can visualize the car that you want, the house that you want, the day-to-day life that you want, your brain can't deter what's real and what's not real. For most people, when they see another way of life and it's really far away from the lifestyle that they are living, they can either feel pain and disheartenment, or you can use it to your advantage and take motivation from it that somebody has already done it before. One of the things I noticed when I first moved away from the United Kingdom and I just saw the way people were living in Sydney, Australia, I just realized how small I had been playing it. Like my whole friend group, my whole lifestyle was just at just a small level of living. And that's no knock on myself or people who live back home, but if you're not exposed to an environment where people are doing cool shit and they're experiencing the finer things in life, then it's hard for you to be able to do it. You want to be in a position where you are the dumbest person in the room. You're going to be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So it's very important to put yourself in that environment where you could be motivated to strive for better. Now, upon realizing that I wanted to escape from the average man's life, I had to look at my life in detail and I had to decide what I was going to take away from my life, which was holding me back. So the quickest way for me to do this was to remove vices from my life. So you may know from my other Instagram posts and my other YouTube videos that I actually decided 4 years ago that I was going to quit alcohol, I was going to quit drugs, and I was going to quit smoking. And it's almost been 4 years now. So that basically enabled me to clear that space in my mind where I could let insightful things come to me and new ideas. And it also opened up space for other things to come into my life. So I went on a path of self-development. Now, my first part of self-development was watching pop culture podcasts. So for you, it might entail of Chris Williamson, Dr. Huberman, and Joe Rogan. But you really need to ask yourself, what is the end goal? Why am I listening to a 2-hour podcast on how to sleep better if I'm still only working the same boring 9-to-5 job? Now, a key factor to remember is consuming won't change you, only changing will change you. For me, I feel that when I look around in Sydney, I see so much money and the lifestyle that people are living, it just causes a real pain point for me to change. Now, I can either get upset with where I am in life, or I can put the work in every single day and I can close the gap daily on where I want to be. So you need to look at pain as a powerful motivator, and it's probably the best motivator you can have. It just gives me the motivation to strive and dream big. And what you want to think about, guys, is the alternative is if you don't do the work, then you're just going to fall behind into obscurity. And as a man, you want to be seen. You don't want to be somebody who's just kicked to the curb, gets old, gets out of shape, is living paycheck to paycheck, because, you know, every man wants a beautiful girl in his arm. Every man wants a beautiful car, a beautiful house, and nobody wants to have a boss telling them what to do for the rest of their life, deciding what sort of money they earn. I don't care who you are, no man wants that. A man wants to be a man, and he wants to be in charge of his life. And I tell you something, a woman wants a man to be like that as well. A woman does not want a man to be a bitch to someone else. It's just not attractive and it's not empowering. I constantly remind myself daily that I am slowly dying. Slowly but surely, my body is aging, and I will never look or feel as good as I do right now today. So you may be in your 20s thinking, I've got all the time in the world. Or alternatively, you may be in your 30s or your 40s thinking, why bother? I've left it too late. And I tell you this, either can be just as detrimental if you look at life through a negative lens. And the thing to remember, when you're setting out on your self-development journey for a better life, escaping the average man, you become that person way before the people on the outside see you as that person. You live the routine that person lives, you live the habits they live, and you do the work that they do. And within time, as a byproduct, you will get all the things that you desire.